On Parliament Hill, holding the government to account, Jill Scheer is holding the fort at home. The Scheers moved into Stornoway last year, the official residence for the new leader of the official opposition. Jill and their 5 children, moved from Saskatchewan to life in Ottawa and to life in the public eye. For this Mother's Day, we visited Stornoway to talk to Jill Scheer about being a mom. Jill Scheer, thank you for joining us on this Mother's Day conversation.
Thanks for having me.
Test you right off the bat. Name all 5 of your kids.
Thomas, Grace, Madeline, Henry, and Mary.
Well done. Now,
Thanks.
The ages are 13, 11, 9, 7, and then 2.
2.
What happened there?
A majority government. We had 1 baby per election from back to Andrew's first election, and the one gap represents the majority.
What's the challenge in raising 5 kids? And I could stop right there, but I'll say, what's the challenge in raising 5 kids in this very public life?
The challenges are that feeling of wanting to protect your children. I think we always have that feeling of not wanting them exposed to negativity and not wanting them to hear negative things about their parents. And so I think our instinct is to shelter them from all of that. And you can't shelter them from everything. You can have the news on and they can see something or hear something on the playground at school. And so I think the hardest part is wanting to keep them protected from the big political life.
Yeah. And with 5 kids, because so many people have 1 or 2 and kind of stop there. In my life, it was we figured the ratio 1 parent to 1 child was all we could handle. How difficult is it just raising 5 kids nowadays?
It's hard. Like, it's busy sometimes, a lot of the time. I always say when they're at school, it's quiet and Mary and I are home. And when they bust through the door, all heck breaks loose. It can be a crazy place to be sometimes.
You didn't sign up for this. Like, you lived a pretty probably ordinary life, people would say. How are you finding the adjustment yourself?
I'm good. Yeah, it's been an adjustment period of moving across the country and bringing all 5 kids and having them go to school here, and some changes, new neighbors, new drive to school, everything's new, and just finding your new grocery store and your pharmacist, and all those things are just like take a little bit of time and a little bit of an adjustment.
What kind of an adjustment do you think it would be if Andrew were to become Prime Minister? I mean, just imagine the attention on you and on your kids.
Yeah. I haven't spent too much time thinking about that just yet, but as the election approaches, the polls
are looking not that bad.
Yeah. We'll have to make some adjustments again then.
But you said you wanted to be able to protect them. I mean, and all parents want to do that. And in this social media era, that's hard to do. There are a lot of people that just want to get on there and be mean. And kids of famous people sometimes can be targeted.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to
So far, our kids are a little bit young for that. They're not really, haven't really asked
edge.
for, I know we're kind of dreading the day that they ask for a Facebook account or Snapchat or whatever, Instagram, I don't know. But it'll come and we'll have to kind of deal with it as it comes. But so far, it's just been me dealing with the comments, and I tend to just sort of scroll past the negative ones and appreciate the nice ones. People say nice things too. We always tend to focus on the things that people say that are mean, or but often people will say, "Oh, you have a lovely family," or "Oh, look at that little cutie," or "I love seeing pictures of your kids," and that I like that. So sometimes I'll just click on the comments and kind of hold my breath and hope they're nice. Then you come across a rude one and you just scroll on.
I read where the Obamas tried to always make sure they had some family time together because his schedule was crazy. Your husband's schedule is pretty crazy.
It is.
Can you find the time to be able to make sure that mom and dad both are around for the kids?
Yeah, we try to cut out some intentional time altogether. Last night we were all playing basketball out in the driveway, and I think Andrew was still in his suit and I was still in my dress from the event we came home from, and we were took off our shoes and played around basketball with the whole family. So stuff like that. Sometimes it's impromptu. Sometimes we actually carve out time and try to make sure that we're all together. Andrew's usually home for supper a couple nights a week, and that's nice.
How do the kids feel about this? Like Andrew was saying, this floor almost becomes kind of a public space, and the private is for you upstairs and that. But how are the kids with a television crew coming in, that kind of thing?
They're starting to get used to it. The funny thing is that what the viewers at home can't see are all the toys along the walls that we like pushed out of the way, and the ride-on Peppa Pig car and all of that. But we have taken over the whole house. This space is kind of public, but if we're not hosting an event, it tends to look like a daycare.
I mentioned the Obamas. Michelle Obama's mom was with the family. Your mom is here with you?
She just flew in today from Regina. Yeah, she's here for the weekend.
What would you say you got from your mom that helped you to be a mother?
Oh, my mom was an awesome mom. My parents were just all about the kids. So like anything we wanted, they helped us achieve. Like I remember when my siblings and I were little, we would say, I want to be a teacher. I want to go to university. My sister's a chartered accountant, and she pushed for that. And my brother used to say, I want to play professional football. And all the other parents said, oh, well, you should be realistic. And my parents said, no, you can totally play professional football. And sure enough, my brother's in the NFL. So
amazing.
You strive for your dreams, and we were just told anything was possible. The sky was absolutely the limit, and we were treated like we were like the greatest kids that ever were. We just thought we were pretty fantastic. Our parents just, they thought the world of us, and they were wonderful parents.
And is that what you try to impart on your kids?
Yeah. Like we tell them that they're so special to us, and we just adore them, and that anything's possible. You can do absolutely anything.
So your kids are coming in, as we were saying earlier, they're coming into that social media age. Are you prepared for the kinds of things that they might be coming at you with that are from, kind of modern age? I mean, you and Andrew are kind of traditional values, maybe even old-fashioned. I'm a little old-fashioned in some ways, but are they going to come at you with things that you're going to have to
I'm sure we'll have to prepare ourselves for just about them to come at us with just about anything. But I was actually talking to my sister-in-law about this the other day, because we were saying that there's not really a precedent for this. Like, we can't ask our parents, how did you guys deal with social media? How did you deal with people trolling the kids? How did you deal with online bullying? We're sort of new at this, and we don't really have another generation to ask advice. So we're all just kind of swimming the same waters trying to navigate this. So hopefully we'll have some wisdom when the time comes, but I'm sure it won't be easy, but we'll take it one day at a time.
Do you worry about the influence that's there, because the world is not as traditional as it once was, and you're still trying to be kind of a traditional life with the kids.
Yeah.
How do you find the balance?
Well, I think all parents worry about all aspects of their children. So I think we're not different from anyone else in that regard. You lay awake at night hoping that they're healthy, hoping that they're safe, hoping that they have the values that you hope they have. And our goal for them is to be good people, and we want them to have open hearts and kind hearts, and we want them to be kind to every person in the world. Like, we don't want them to have a mean bone in their body. So hopefully that's what we're teaching them, and hopefully that's what they can go forward with.
Thomas is 13, he's the oldest, and I guess you're just embarking on this period where most parents who've been through that will say, oh, you've got the teenage years.
I know, we get these sympathetic looks when people are like, oh, 13, like, oh, how's that going? Yeah, and it's just sort of starting this sort of sleeping in and eating like a horse, and all of that's just sort of getting going. So we have 4 more following him to look forward to. So
I asked my wife, I said, what should I ask Jill Scheer about being a mom? She said, ask her if there was anything that she wasn't prepared for, that she wished somebody had told her to expect when she became a mom. For her, it was, she said, she lost all her private time. She didn't have, she couldn't even be in the bathroom without the kids walking in on her.
Right. One thing that I didn't know was, like, before you have kids, you don't really think about this, but it's almost like a part of your heart is living outside of you, like something that you couldn't love more, and you have to sort of like send them down the street to the park and send them across the street to a friend's house, and it's hard. Every little more you let go, it's hard as a parent. You want to sort of put them in a bubble and keep them close and keep them safe, but you have to, and we know we have to, and we can't be helicopter parents. So we've started to, they walk down the street to the corner store, and they'll go pick us up something from the grocery store, but it is hard. It feels like you're letting a little piece of yourself go, and you just hope they're safe and look both ways before they cross the street.
How do you see your role as both a mom, but also as a wife of somebody who's such high profile and potentially a very high profile in political life?
Right. Well, I try to be as supportive as I can. It's not always easy because sometimes you feel sort of like you want him home and you want his time to be spent with you, and you have to kind of obviously let him go and do his work. And but I feel like my role is a supporter, and I try to be that. And I try to sort of look after the kids to a point, but at the same time, I want when he comes home, he sort of does that too and sort of takes over. He helps with the homework, especially the French homework. And he's a great dad, and it's awesome.
Well, take a moment on that. I know it's Mother's Day, but tell us about how Dad is able to sort of what he's able to do. You feel with the kids,
right? Given
Given the demands he has in his job.
Andrew's super reasonable and super patient. So like he never flies off the handle at them for something that they didn't deserve, or and he's so patient. Like when they come to me having had a fight, I just like my instinct is like go over there and work it out. Like I'm not the moderator of these fights, but he'll say, and what did she say? And he said that, and that must have hurt your feelings. And he's just so patient. And sometimes he'll take one off that's having a crying fit or something. And I think, wow, he's been working a 14-hour day and now he's off solving the problem of the fight between the Dora doll and the whatever it is,
right.
you know. But yeah, he's very patient, very sweet with the kids, and they adore him.
Oh, that's nice. Are they catching on to sort of that Andrew Scheer is a name that other kids are going to know from their parents even?
I think it's just starting the Grace had a substitute teacher at school the other day, and the kids in the class thought that this teacher looked like Andrew. So one of the little kids went up to this teacher and said, has anyone ever told you look like Andrew Scheer? And he said, yeah, actually, I've been told that before. And Grace is like, that's my dad. And she couldn't believe that he knew who that was. And that's sort of starting, I guess, that they know that the name maybe means something.
And on a typical Mother's Day, what will happen? You have your mom here, so
that'll be nice.
There are two mothers that will have to be honored.
Yes, that'll be nice. So typical Mother's Day, the kids, Andrew gets them up early and they make me breakfast in bed.
Oh.
And then all the homemade gifts, like the necklace made out of Fruit Loops and lots of homemade drawings, paintings, cards. The ones you tuck away and pull out again in 20 years and probably have a good cry over.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful day and a wonderful life.
Yeah,
at this
yes,
moment.
it's pretty lovely.
Are you happy with it? Because you didn't, as we said before, you didn't sign up for this.
Right.
How do you feel about your life kind of taking the turns that it has?
Right. Well, I've always said to Andrew, like his dream was politics and a family, and my dream was just I've always wanted to be a mom. I've wanted to be a mom since the day I could say I want to be a mom. I always knew that was my job, my destiny, and so I feel like I'm living my dream too. Like I get to have all these little lovely kids that are sweet and just kind little hearts, and I feel so honored to be their mom.
You feel lucky?
Very, very lucky. Yes, of course, yes.
We feel lucky having had the chance to talk to you today.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you.